Hi there, and a warm welcome on a sunny but chilly morning here in the UK. Hope you're well, whatever time you're watching this. I know most of you watch on the replay, which is wonderful, the joys of recording. And welcome to any of you that are joining live right now, which is fantastic. So here we are. I'm sorry I've not been around for a few weeks. Everything's been a little bit hectic, I think, in a strange way. I'm still looking after my health, and I feel like I'm making forward progress, which is good. But I'm still having to just be very aware and look after myself. So sometimes I'm not feeling that I've got the energy and the resources to come on every Friday, but I will still be here, and I'm planning, all being well, I will be back in the new year, which is the second Friday, which will be the 10th of January. So I am planning to continue with weekly wildlife wisdom. I do love to do these, but I am putting my self-care first. So don't give up tuning in or checking out my YouTube channel to see which recordings are there. And I've got a selection of other recordings that you can listen into whenever you feel like it. If I'm not there when you appear on Friday or whenever you tune in. So today is a really special day. We're actually on the eve of the winter solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's celebrated very much by the Celtic tradition, but also all over the world. All sorts of different indigenous peoples and mythologies and cultures celebrate both the winter solstice and the summer solstice, and the equinoxes in between, as they were and still are the active participating folks, connected very deeply with the seasons of the planet and the ebb and flow of light and dark across the months and the seasons. And so, of course, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it is approaching, and it is actually tomorrow, the 21st of December, the winter solstice, which is the darkest time, the longest day. But of course, it's not just about one day. It's about the run into that darkness, getting longer and longer, and then the run out of that darkness back to the light. And I want to sort of highlight the importance of the darkness as much as returning to the light, because I've noticed a lot of people are very, very, very keen to return to the light as quickly as possible. And even spend their time ticking off on the calendar, when are we going to get back to the lightness? But the darkness is really important as well. And I want to honour that darkness in part today. I love the light as well, because it's all about yin and yang and balance, isn't it? But the darkness is about when we can go within, when we can sleep, we can become very reflective, and also it's the prime opportunity for us to connect with the other world, with our beloved ancestors of the light, that we can connect with and learn from and give our love and our devotion to them. And I think that's really important. So honouring the darkness as well, and in equal balance to the light, I think is sort of a message that I felt I wanted to share with you this morning. Morning, Susie, up bright and early as usual. It's lovely to have you here. It's so wonderful that you get up super early and come join me. I always feel very blessed and honoured that you would do that. So welcome. So let's talk a little bit more. I've got some notes, obviously, as I always do, just to prompt my memory. So for the Celtics and for many cultures, it's a very sacred time. And it's really about, on a factual basis, when the Earth's axis is tilted very slightly so that the sun is at its furthest point away from us here in the Northern Hemisphere. And that's why we get a lot less daylight and a lot shorter daytimes during this period. And if you go back eons, back to when the first peoples that were honouring nature's cycles, you would find a time that is much, much harder, much more difficult and challenging, simply to stay alive during these cold, wet, dark times where there's not very much growing for food, and there needs to be a lot of preparation and a lot of planning ready for the winter. And so what they would do in their planning and their harvesting and their all the different processes that they would have to prepare food that will last them through the winter is on the winter solstice they would have a celebration of that alongside a celebration of the darkness of connection with the other world. And they would have feasting and celebrations to really sort of honour the time of year and to delight in the blessing of having stored food and somewhere warm and warm clothing that they will have made themselves, and to be able to survive and live through the time. So I think that's really important, and I encourage you to have something tomorrow for the solstice, if you choose, to just honour that, whether it's just a short lighting of a candle and sitting in quiet reflection and maybe a prayer to your ancestors, or whether you might want to do something a bit more, maybe have a few friends round and have some celebratory drinks and food and just enjoy each other's company, but to do something to mark and honour the occasion, because I think it is something that we need. And I know our modern world, we've certainly created lots of different types of challenges and pressures for ourselves in various and many ways. So it's also about celebrating and remembering to celebrate and to bring joy and happiness and peace into our life, as well as dealing with the challenges and the stresses and strains of modern day life and everything that's happening with humanity. So I think that's really important. And also at this time, something that I love from the Celtic tradition is that there is a handover from midsummer to midwinter. The Holly King is in charge, if you like, of all that happens, and they are the king, if you like. So the holly tree, which is also represented by a bird, and the bird is the wren. And at this point, they hand over to the oak king, who then holds the mantle between midwinter back to midsummer. And that representative bird is the robin. And that is why robin is the word, is the bird, not the word, is the bird for today's weekly wildlife wisdom. And I love robins, and there are robins all over the world, lots and lots of different types of robin. And here in the UK, the robin is a particularly beloved bird. I'm not sure about in other parts of the world whether you hold them quite so dear. I'm sure you probably do. But here in the UK, it's very much associated with Christmas and joy and beautiful song, the songbird, bringing joy and peace, and is mentioned in lots of our Christmas carols and other songs. And also on our cards, greetings cards, there's just robins everywhere. So at this time of the year, they're particularly prominent, which I think is lovely. And if you're lucky enough to have robins in and around where you live, I'm sure that you love to see them and hear their beautiful song as well. So what we're going to do is just delve into a bit more around robin wisdom. And one of the things that I think is most important about the robin is they're very full of beautiful ancient wisdom, but they're very confident communicators of that wisdom. So they can be the most wonderful guides for us if we choose to build a relationship with them, either just in our mind, connecting with them, or if you're lucky enough to have robins around you, to have that physical connection as well, and just to tune in to their beautiful wisdom. And they have so much to teach us. Last year, I think it was, sometime, can't remember when, I was in the garden and this lovely robin was flitting around and just generally being magnificent, as they are. And I tuned into them. Not sure if it was a he or a she, but it doesn't matter. And I asked them, because they were singing, as well as they were hopping around, they were singing this beautiful song, and it was It was, just as the sun was rising, dawn time. And I asked them about their song, and I got this beautiful message from them, very clearly showing me visually that their song is a vibrational protective shield, and it connects with all other birds' song and makes this huge, beautiful protective shield. And it was one of those moments where I'd never really thought about that, but when I received that image, it sort of really made sense, and it hit to me as a more of an ancient memory that was there but had been dormant within me. So I just thought that was such an amazing thing to reconnect to that, the birds singing at dusk and at dawn, to create a protective shield, which is about the passing again from dark to light and then light to dark, and how sacred that is, and how powerful their song is, and how beautiful. And when we let that song in, when we sit and listen quietly to bird song, especially at those early times or evening times when they are singing, it's a very beautiful way to meditate and to bring peace into your life. So I heartily recommend that, especially if you're lucky enough to have robins, but all of the songbirds are just so gorgeous. And they're also associated, which really hit me where I am at the moment. They're also associated with our soul and its mission. And to me, that was really, really powerful. I'm going to come back to that because I just want to see what lovely Susie's saying. The robins herald spring here. Brilliant. Yeah, because it's coming back to the light. Everyone is excited to see the first robins of spring. Wonderful. Where I am, they've stopped migrating, so we occasionally see a flock of them. Oh, that's interesting. Rather than just spring's nest builders. Oh, lovely. That's really nice. I love that. And I think you're pretty sure your robins look slightly different to ours. So I'm going to have a look afterwards and see who I can find where you are, Susie. So thank you for that. So yeah, so this connection to our soul and our mission really hit me. And at this time of year, I think naturally, with this sort of introspection and thoughts of the new year, it's a really good time to tune in with Robin and ask yourself and ask for their guidance in terms of where next for you, in terms of where you want to focus your energy and attention for the next year as we move into the springtime, from winter into spring. And it's early preparations at this point, thinking things through and preparing for those changes. And if you listen to them, they will also help you to connect with your ancestors, higher power, however you perceive that. In the Celtic world, it's our healthy ancestors that we connect with, and we ask them to help and guide us and to give us support and encouragement and a nudge in the right direction through subtle signs and things that we can tune into when we're quiet. And so I think the robin really is very powerful to help us with that and to help us tune into that. And also to realise that whoever we are, whatever our life, whatever hand we've been dealt, whatever challenges, whatever wounds we've carried through our own experience or through our ancestral lineage, we are here for a very specific purpose and a reason, and we bring great gifts to the world if we can get out of the way all of those things that might stop us or hold us in fear or keep us small or make us be unkind to ourselves. And if we can learn to release those and step into who we are, as the robin so beautifully demonstrates with their pure, innocent magnificence, then we can bring these gifts really out into the world. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be grand plans for the whole planet. It's more definitely about who we are in our place, on our land, with the day-to-day activities, the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, the beliefs, the way that we engage with our world and the way that we live our life. And that's the important part, and that's what Robin wants to show us. And this is about greater self-actualization and inner peace. And I think if we scrape away all of the stuff that everybody does, all humans do on this planet, really what we really want is inner peace. But we have in many instances gone far off the path of inner peace, of being able to stay in that presence of inner peace. And we're doing lots of things that really aren't in alignment with that. And that's what we as individuals can take responsibility for. How can we move ourselves back into as greater alignments as much of the time as we can with this peace and our self-actualization, bringing our gifts and skills and talents into the world for good. So that's a beautiful part of Robin. They really can help you to connect with your ancestors. So if you have things that you would like to learn from your ancestors, and I'd hope all of us have, then it's a really great time to work with them. So, a lot of people ask me, how do you do that? So I thought I'd just include a very short overview. It doesn't matter if you've got robins around you or not physically. Robin energy is within you. So the great hologram means that within us we have an aspect of Robin's energy and wisdom. Within the robin, they have an aspect of our energy and wisdom. And so it is with all things. So we tune into Robin. And a suggestion, if you can be outside, because nature's so helpful, be outside. Close your eyes if you can, or just lower and soften your gaze. And just notice your breathing and get quiet, as if you're going to meditate. Yeah, so going into that quieter space. Let all your thoughts and busyness float away. It'll all be there when you come back in 5 minutes. And just tune in. Tune in from your heart. And imagine the robin. You don't need to have a visual. Just know that the robin wisdom is there, and ask for their help. And then just sit in quiet reverence and always be thankful and grateful. And anything that pops in, it can be a thought, a feeling, a smell, a taste, a sense, a little video or a little clip of an image. As long as it's not coming from the busy chatterbox mind, which with practice you get to discern the difference, you can take that and get curious about what that might mean for you, because they're very seldomly direct. They're more subtle. And so you sit with a message, I don't know, maybe a daffodil or a sunflower appears in your mind, just as a simple example, and you sit with what that is, what that means for you. And if you're not sure and you can't get to a meaning, you can then return another day perhaps and say, tell me more, help me understand the meaning of the sunflower or whatever it was, and you will get more information. But it is about that engagement and building loving, respectful relationship. So you can work with Robin and your ancestors to do that, which I think is just an amazing thing to be able to do. And robins are wise and confident, so let them assist you, but they'll only assist you when you go to them in that respectful and honoring way. So loving them, giving them love and peace and honoring them and building that up with, it doesn't have to be every day, but a regular connection that says you are in kind, loving relationship with them, giving them love, offering them healing and protection as well, which is very easy. You just need to say the words, I'm sending you love. You are so loved and protected. I honour you and I thank you for all of your assistance. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be like a big ceremony or anything. The ceremony comes from the authenticity of your heart and who you are, and that you are asking for help to live your life, this precious life, this unique life that only you have and only you are living in better alignment with nature and the sacredness of all life. So I'm going to leave it on that note and leave you in peace. I wish you and all your loved ones, whatever species they are, and whether they're with you or they're in spirit, I send you all love and blessings and peace for the winter solstice, for the Christmas period, if you celebrate Christmas, for the holidays, for everybody at this time of year, to ponder that beautiful wisdom from Robin and think about how that resonates with you. As usual, I'd love to hear your responses, your comments, particularly if you can do that once the recording's live, so they stay there and other people can read them as well, because that's really lovely. And if you have any questions or you have anything that you want to reflect or requests for next year for weekly wildlife wisdom, wild animals, let me know, and I'd love to hear that. Susie, thank you. Love, blessings and peace to you. That's very kind, and right back to you as well. And may we all have a peaceful holiday. As I say, I'm planning to be back on the 10th of January, but I'll send out advanced notice on that as well. So sending you lots of love. Take really good care of yourselves, and happy solstice to you all. See you soon. Bye for now. Bye.